Hello and welcome. I'm a hotel AI expert, and it's my pleasure to welcome all of you from the Europe Hotel School to your online learning journey. Now, if you've been in hospitality, you know that for decades we've measured success in a very specific way. But what if that core measurement was, well, completely wrong? Today, we're diving into the total revenue revolution, a massive shift powered by AI that's changing the entire game for how hotels think about profit, from the front desk all the way to the rooftop bar.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at the old way of doing things and, why it just doesn't cut it anymore. Then we'll really unpack this total revenue mindset. After that, we'll get into the cool tech stuff, how AI makes all of this possible. We'll look at some real-world examples. And finally, we'll tie it all together to show you what this ultimate profit ecosystem really looks like. Sound good? Let's jump in.
All right, so for as long as anyone can remember, one single metric has been king. But, and this is a big but, relying on it is kind of like trying to appreciate a masterpiece painting by just staring at one tiny corner. You're just not seeing the whole picture.
And that metric, of course, is RevPAR, revenue per available room. You all know it. It's the classic, the go-to formula for measuring a hotel's performance. And what does it look at? Just one thing: room revenue. That's it. It's simple, it's standard, and as we're about to see, it's fundamentally flawed.
And this right here, this is RevPAR's massive blind spot. Because it's so hyper-focused on rooms, it completely misses everything else. I mean, think about it. The money a guest spends at the bar, in the spa, at the restaurant, in the meeting rooms, all of that is just invisible to RevPAR. You're literally only seeing a tiny fraction of the real story.
So that brings us to the solution, what we're calling the total revenue revolution. And I want to be clear, this is so much more than just a new acronym to learn. It's a whole new philosophy, a completely different way of thinking about profitability.
So, let me introduce you to TRevPAR, total revenue per available room. Now, the key difference, the real magic here, is the shift in focus to something we call total guest value. The goal isn't just to sell a room anymore. No way. It's about looking at the entire guest journey and using some seriously powerful AI to squeeze the most revenue out of every single touch point.
Okay, let's make this real. Imagine this scenario. You've got a corporate client. They book rooms pretty consistently, but always at a low negotiated rate. Now, if you're only looking at RevPAR, your system is probably screaming that this client is unprofitable. So the question is, what do? Do you drop them?
Well, if you run a TRevPAR analysis, you get a completely different story. I mean, a world of difference. Yeah, okay, their room spend is low, we see that. But what the total data reveals is that their team is also spending thousands, literally thousands, every night on cocktails, on private dining. So from that old RevPAR perspective, they look like a problem. But from a TRevPAR perspective, they're suddenly one of your most valuable accounts. See the difference? And this really gets to the heart of it. This is the crucial point. We have to shift our focus away from just the rate of the room and onto the total value of the guest. That simple shift is the entire strategic game changer.
So right about now, you're probably thinking, okay, that sounds great in theory, but how on earth do you make this happen on a large scale? Well, the answer lies in the technology that's powering this whole revolution, the AI engine. The very first thing it has to do is break down what we call data silos. You know what I'm talking about. For years, every single department in a hotel, the front desk, F&B, the spa, they all had their own separate systems that didn't talk to each other. What modern AI platforms, like RevenueMix or Hotelistat, do is they smash those silos. They integrate all of those data streams into one single unified view. And once you have that, the AI can analyze total guest behavior and start optimizing everything in real time. And when I say everything, I mean everything. We're talking about pulling in data from the point-of-sale systems in your restaurants, from the spa management software, even from the parking gates. Every single transaction, no matter how small, becomes another piece of the puzzle. It's how the AI gets that complete 360-degree picture of guest spending.
Okay, so that's the tech side, but what does this actually look like in the real world, day to day? How do we take all these powerful insights and turn them into actual, practical, money-making strategies across the whole property? This quote right here, it just perfectly captures the goal. It's what we call space optimization. The whole idea is to take those principles of revenue management that we've always applied to bedrooms and start applying them to every single functional space in the hotel. Every square meter has to work for you. Let's take meeting rooms, for example. Say a company wants to book a room for just 2 hours in the middle of the day. The old way? You just say yes. But the AI is smarter. It instantly analyzes the opportunity cost. It asks, what potential profit are we losing by taking this small booking? If that 2-hour slot could block a much more profitable all-day event with a big catering order, the AI might automatically quote a higher price for that short meeting to make up for the lost potential. It's strategic. And this same kind of smart, agile thinking applies to all your other services too. It's a concept called dynamic ancillary pricing. All it really means is that the price for things like a spa treatment or valet parking isn't set in stone anymore. It can actually change in real time based on things like demand, the weather, even how full the hotel is. Here's a perfect example. Imagine it's a miserable, rainy weekend. What are your guests doing? They're stuck inside. The AI recognizes this shift in behavior instantly. So maybe it suggests a small price bump for spa treatments because demand is about to spike. Or even better, it could automatically create and push out a special rainy day package. A massage and afternoon tea to maximize bookings while everyone's cooped up. Now, when you start combining all of these strategies, the data integration, the space optimization, the dynamic pricing, you move way beyond simple revenue management. You're actually creating what we call the ultimate profit ecosystem. And it's an ecosystem that doesn't just drive smarter profits, but also builds a deeper, much more intelligent kind of guest loyalty. Let's talk about loyalty for a second. The old way was to just give every frequent guest the same generic room upgrade, right? Well, now the AI can look at a guest's history and see, hey, this person is a huge F&B spender. So instead of the room upgrade, the system prompts the front desk to offer them a dining credit. Now think about that. It feels way more personal and valuable to that guest, and at the same time, it drives revenue directly to a high-margin department. It's a win-win. And really, this visual says it all. This is the TRevPAR philosophy in a nutshell. Room revenue, it's just one slice of a much, much bigger pie. The real opportunity, the future of our industry, isn't just in selling rooms. It's in understanding and actively growing the entire ecosystem of a guest's total spend. So, if you take one thing away today, let it be this. TRevPAR is not just another metric on a spreadsheet. It's the evolution of our craft. It is the strategy that truly transforms a property from just being a collection of rooms into a coordinated, intelligent, profit-maximizing ecosystem. So, as you continue in your careers, this is the question I want to leave you with. Ask yourself, is my hotel just a collection of rooms, or is it a coordinated, profit-maximizing ecosystem? Because the answer to that question is going to define the future of hospitality. Thank you for your time.